forgive, we do not forget. Expect us. Anonymous for the voiceless and OP blood. Get this. We are legion when we speaking in our feats. We are dreamers and seers, Maharishis. We are the cosmos in expansion like Aditi. While you resorb and rot in your basements and safe spaces as naysayers that placate us and talk shit. We walk tall regardless, eradicate racists and Nazis. While you eradicate races and scores of diasporas, we blossom and blot your fascist fads and fashion ads. We clash with madmen and hatred. Be glad that we came through this density's portal to shift your propensities for horrors. We are infinite immortals of ensos and sensi, not superheroes or supervillains. We are beyond omega level mutants and watchers. Really, Negeros and Anakims. We are not superstars. We are wildlings of Gaia and Pachamama. Truthers, intersectionals, activists and artivists, scripting the vividest blueprints while you're living clueless. We used to live in squalor while you watch Hollywood stars in stupor in your TVs and truth boxes, truthlessly living in mansions with expansions and pools in a dying metropolis with walk-in closets of Prada, Armani, Fendi and Gucci. Supercars that you could never afford if you tried to and lied till you died for the New World Order's conglomerates. We are cleverer than the thoughts that they forever force into you when you worship their voided religions and politics. We slaughter zombies for a living as macheteros and watch over your offspring that are not that. We are incomparable cosmic beings accosting at the port of dreams in the Nautilus with swords of destiny like Prajna, effortlessly forging new recipes for solace. Forever evolving mantras as Mahas, Kalis and Kalkis in harmony and solace. Forever evolving mantras as Mahas, Kalis and Kalkis in harmony and solace. I don't see death around the corner. I see death as a blessing and honesty, like Tupac Amaru Shakur, lested from the karma of void walkers and beyond this. So many missing women, indigenous and from the diasporas. So many children kidnapped in porn rings and organ trafficking. In history, it's far more than tragic, and it's far from a mystery and honest. We grasp this on a daily basis, yet we are frail and faceless when it comes to changing or ending this. Who are we in our friendships? So many frenemies and fake relationships. So many sentences for innocent civilians, more wars and more killings. It seems like it's never ending, but regardless of this, we always evolve, and they do this. We do this too to solve it with voodoo and black magic. It's not what we thought, and in honest, truly, it's a lot more complex. What's white supremacy compared to Mama Africa and the cosmos? Who is Akasha to you? Do you know who a DT is? She is limitless expansion as anti-gravity. I seem like I'm preaching often, but these are lanterns and mansions to recant the chants of false angels as archonic hatred. Talk shit, I'll drop you in the void and fade you as a black hole sun. It's factual like the sound gardens we author to solve problems revolving in Sodom and Gomorrah. New Babylon is the US troops that battle on at the orders of war generals. More sentences in detention camps like FEMA and ICE. ISIS is in the Middle East crisis that's racist and debasing ageless deities. She is a goddess of Egypt and father and honest. She is matriarchal, stunning beyond comprehension and full garb. With her wings we slaughter phoenixes and think that it's cool to gobble their skewed wings and flesh in bars with hot sauce like hot ones on YouTube. Do you get this? Do you believe me? Let me ask you some questions like the seedy Christians. I'll choose scorpion pepper paste concentrated to match your nonsense and hateful statements. Choke to death on a drop, I promise you will. On the drop of a dime, I'll kill you. If you hesitate on the answers, here's the question. Do you eat children like the so-called Queen of England in residential schools in the Arctic and across the continents? Do you know what I mean? A chicken is a baby phoenix, and baby chicks are slaughtered at day one for being male beings and high-speed grinders. Or choked to death with smoke for the eggs in your breakfast plates with bacon that comes from a baby boar totem, that's a pig. Maybe I'm annoying or boring you with my omens, but I'm a Tsigane, a gypsy predicting futures for you in the process of reminding you of who you are. You are what you eat, what you drink, what you think, and what you speak and dream of. What you ink in your actions as well. Now back it up before you get clapped endless, and you end up in hell's endless. And there is far worse, in all honesty, this is beyond your comprehension. The evil empire will fall, speak of templates of idiots for hire when they brawl with themselves and mire their thoughts with lies, see through dense fires and ball when we remember this is a mass extinction, the greatest genocide in history. Complex conundrum, love is existence, but we're caught up in slums inside our splintered selves, missing our better halves. We exist in hells, and laughter is the better path, like indigenous traditions. Yet and still we fracture ourselves to get the math. Forget the path you walk on, talk strong but stay meek when you need to stray with peoples that believe in you. Stay away from the fakers and frenemies. Fake lovers are like sentences you didn't deserve in a makeshift system that slakes your nerves with fluoride and chlorine. Boring supersonics and more lies got you in a stupid stupor instead of being super conscious. Truthless monsters of corporate nonsense trying to heist your immortal conscience. The warden is watching, that's God the Father in your flawed Bibles, artist doctrines and morals. We are far more than this in ethics, intrinsic, far beyond this. Get this, witness what we author in sentences, sentiments extrasensory as X-Men. Text denser than this best density, still in neo-colonial expressions. Repurpose, read verses and breathe cursive. Breed and nurture the truth inside you like India Adi. Imagine what you couldn't fathom even in dreams. Heathens in scenes that evolve into a Armada Suprema. We are always incomparable, incomparables como nunca's palabras, soaring in skies as gorgeous as true reinas. Are you sated from blue avian sueñas? I am a Leonid from ages of bastard and constellations of prophetesses as gifted as awkward fictions that are not that. Like Dune and Arrakis, we are non-prophets, always calm and militant in warm topics, but as bold as ever when we want to in the coldest weathers, with no clothes or sweaters, just a kufiya and a t-shirt with no mixed threes. I flow like 10 trees in synergy, and this is no ad, I promise, but regardless, imagine your slave labor garments in comparison. Could you talk shit? I dare you, now walk it. I'll air you out like a cockpit. I'll air you out like a cockpit, flying at Mach 10. Faith in humanity is renewed through you for the new mutants of truth and the blue moons. True wounds placed in our hands by the next generations, while man is complacent and bland in his hatred. Can you imagine the changes the teenagers and rebels are creating? Khalil Gibran said it best in The Prophet. They dwell in the house of tomorrows, which you can but invest in, but you cannot visit it nor borrow from their explicit natures, like exquisite nature, which you've hollowed as traitors. I know it's hard to swallow, like rape and torture from your killings and auctions. You may think it's survival, but it's not. You'll be coughing and writhing, get got like the misers you are. Pick up a hitchhiker for a change, keep some spare change to offer to bikers on the side of the road, or a lifer that's caught up in the system on the sidelines. Offer youth a lot more than the guidance that you thought that they needed from you lifeless leeches and zombies. I see you in your racist faces and bloated colonial bodies. The earth is native, you all been colonizers and spurious aliens, stockpiling for your church's radiance, worshipping void walkers. The truth hurts like a mother, she should have never birthed you fucks, but the child that's far gone from inside you was never the problem. Regardless, they are the solutions. If you can't see the child or the youth inside you, or they'd say they weren't proud of who you are right now or in the future, then off yourselves as quickly as you'll rot in hells for desisting and staying alive with your blighted man's pyres. You're praying in hives like psychic vampires, and you don't deserve the coffins, even a murder. You don't even deserve a soft serve that's not but vegan as your last meal or a bottle of vodka. Take a bottle of pills from your toxic big farmers that you all too often forced on your offspring and wives that are immortal in lives far beyond your comprehensions. You liars, I scoff at your pride with mine. I rot this as swiftly as the winds that'll drop you to bits and freeze your awful souls to splinters and bottles like Dodol describes it. I am a Mongol and a Khan from many lives that you ought to remind yourselves can swing scimitars quicker than Imam Ali did back in his days as a teenager. And regardless, I don't regard Islam even as Ishmaeli as legitimate unless it's matriarchal and intricately artful. We need to remember that Muhammad was a voided monster and a rapist, a child molester and a conquering sadist. Yahweh was as horrid as Allah is and honest. All your religions should be outlawed. You should be slaughtered for making prayers to patriarchal voids that make bankers and genocidal tyrants seem like naught but their offspring in comparison. Talk shit, I dare you, and warn you at the same time. I'm a Tsigane Kalkin. I'll air you out quicker than my mapacho dries. When I smoke rainbow tobacco, I cough up skies of beauty, and wafting odors of smoke subdue all of the evils of the globe like Navajo omens that redeem the noble and bleed the ignoble to death. Heed this like a dolmen carved linguistically from a quarry of neurological quandaries. You're all heteronormative oddities at best and sadistic delusional monsters at worst. But remember, the embers of hearths from the goddesses will keep you as warm as you deserve to, like Kali watching you all as Durga with Shankara and bursting out in mirth as you curse her and all who honor her. You'll burst into flames, just not like a phoenix. This is the first of my claims and my last to remind you all that I'll outlast you as timeless. And your gall when you talk back will blast you like shotguns. Now fall back as quick as I'll laugh my ass off if you diss or criticize me in any senses for any of this or any of my shit in general. I'll make a few exceptions, I mentioned them already like French, so my apologies to any conscious beings who felt this disrespectful. Namo Yaoshi, Namo Puerhuan in the end. Rhythms in the presence of prescience, given synesthetic synth and static expressions of ecstatic depressions inside us. The madness, the laughter, the vibes that we gather when dawn provides us with songs for solace and harmony. Walk through portals from stargates to immortal farscapes with trinities. Talk as invincibly as we are invisibly visible minorities, flooding the whole planet with diasporas while they whitewash us with nescience and quiet storms. Write a riot and admire arms offered, compost but non-toxic, no byproducts, no torture. Sly forms of dejection they cough up to make us bark like dogons they domesticated with lies and horrors inside our almas. Mahamantras guide us regardless. We author tantra with lips parched from apacho, tobacco and ganja dropped in it from rastas. We are all kindred, alakin and lakech, kalakin kings in progress with incomparable sistrins as goddesses, khans and connoisseurs, symbiotic on islands and off-grid rocket ships in our minds when our thoughts part the mist of the cosmos' mysteries and author splits that combine from friction and skins intertwined in karma, exuding gems from non-illusory spectrums of annoya. We were all born as ionic and pleromic forms at the cusp of Dogonic and Leonid. Double helix strands evolving to non-binary from the love of stars that guide them. Subtle feelings in Sanskrit decolonizing through signs in the slums. So far that we are right next to them always, but we forgot this. Yet across the oceans our governments are plotting to slaughter them, while we grow mindless as such when we buy this and that too. Body covered in tattoos when I spit out rap rude, but I am still that truthful. God, is that you? I don't bang Wu-Tang anymore, it's not cool, and it's not for the children, that's youth. So don't call them childish. Infantilization is a real problem, so is misogyny. So stand still like Sabrina Claudio and solve it through audio sonnets. Impossibly gorgeous, walk to the fortress and tear down the walls of their forces. Blast some speakers till the vastness of ethers destroys them and rebuilds us as rainbow tribes of warriors.